smart about it. The debt, I have continued to say $35 trillion in debt is not sustainable. And the only ones that win when we have that kind of debt are China, Russia, and Iran. So we need to wake up to that.
Let me ask you about China, because this is a very serious threat picture around the world right now. You were just in Taiwan for the first time. Former President Trump said Taiwan should pay us for defense, and the U.S. is no different than an insurance company. How concerned were Taiwanese officials by that comment?
First of all, when I went to Taiwan, I think it's important that Americans know what I saw. I met with the president, the vice president, the defense minister. We were on a military base. We met with their intelligence officers. The life of a Taiwanese every single day. First of all, they have 30 million cyber attacks a month in Taiwan. They have aggression from air and sea by the Chinese every single week. They have continued to have any sort of bullying and suppression. They're not even allowed. You look at the United Nations, Taiwanese aren't even allowed in the building. Not their elected officials, not their journalists, not students. But
China has veto power, as you know.
But I wanted to see if Taiwan, if they were victims waiting for a handout or what they were saying. And I was so impressed because they're not waiting for help from anyone. 10 years ago, their Chinese investment was 84%. Today, their Chinese investment is 11%. They are proactively not investing in China. Their mandatory military service, starting at 18 years old, they had started at 4 months. They've now increased it. You have to serve militarily at 18 for a year. They've, while cutting that investment, they are getting ready militarily. They're doing joint training with America, which is fantastic. They need arms and equipment. We need to learn from Russia and China to give them what they need. In reference to what you said, when it comes to our allies, when it comes to freedom-loving countries, we need to be the best friend to them that we can. Because if China takes Taiwan, what we saw with Russia and Ukraine, it affected 1% of GDP, and you saw the economy shake from that. If China takes Taiwan, it would be 10% of the global GDP. That's $10 trillion compared to the $1 trillion in Ukraine. We need to care about that. We need to care about it from freedom. We need to care about it from the economy. We need to care about it from security. And we need to care about the fact that if Russia takes Ukraine and China takes Taiwan, we can't assume we're going to be okay if we live in a silo, because that's not the case.
But what you just laid out is a policy that's strongly in defense of Taiwan.
It is.
Are you saying that the next president should commit, because neither J.D. Vance nor Donald Trump have said that they would send U.S. troops to defend Taiwan?
I don't think we need to send U.S. troops to defend Taiwan.
Joe Biden said he would, as president. He told my colleague at 60 Minutes.
Taiwan does not want troops. What Taiwan is asking for is joint military training and to partner with us so that they can make weapons to defend themselves. And they want intelligence sharing. Look, I'm the wife of a combat veteran. The last thing we want to do is just keep thinking about sending troops. If anything, we want to prevent war. The best way to prevent war from China is to start arming Taiwan now and making sure that they're ready. It is not about talking about sending troops or sending even just random cash. It's about doing what it needs to so that China's too scared to even think about it.
Well, they are getting billions that the Congress and the president just signed off on, and they're buying U.S.-made weapons.
And that replenishes our resources. It's a good thing. We want to make sure we do that. But I think we need any spending we do with a country should be held accountable.
Well, when you were campaigning, you said when President Trump left office, China was militarily stronger than before. I mean, they've only increased that in terms of their nuclear development and their expansion of their military. You said Trump did not put us on a stronger military foothold in Asia. He did not stop all the theft of American technology. He had moral weakness in trying to befriend President Xi. If this is the threat of this century, how can you say he is the commander-in-chief you can support now?
Because I look at what happened under the Harris administration. You look at this situation.
But aren't we supposed to judge that record?
No, we're going to judge both records. So let's first look at the Harris administration. Russia never would have invaded Ukraine. China would not be circling.
They did not withdraw from Ukraine.
No, well, go further. They wouldn't have started war with Ukraine. And China would not have gotten more aggressive with Taiwan if we would have not had that fall in Afghanistan. It's not that we left Afghanistan, it's how we left it. It was dangerous, it was careless, and it was weak. And we have suffered ever since. We didn't have any conflicts under Trump. I was his UN ambassador. We put more sanctions on Russia. We kept China at bay. We let our allies know that they were protected. All of that happened. Now, what I will say to both Trump and Harris is the worst thing we can do is walk back from our friends right now. And so we need to be a friend to Ukraine, not make them beg. We need to be a friend to Taiwan, prepare so that China doesn't do it. We need to be a friend to Israel and not say we're going to give you and then take it back like what Harris and Biden did. We've got to start being friends with our allies. I will say it until I'm blue in the face. America can never be so arrogant to think we don't need friends. And you have to be a friend to get a friend. So look, there are no perfect administrations here by any means. But Trump was definitely stronger when it came to national security as opposed to the Harris administration. And that's just a fact.
But how can you be confident that he will be? You're talking about 4 more years. When he is saying things like this, he's talking about like a protection racket for Taiwan. They have to pay us.
No, and I'll be the first one to say that's not the way it should be. Look, I'm always going to tell you the truth on where I think. This is not blind support for anyone. This is saying don't sit there and threaten Taiwan that you're going to, on being friends. This is, they have 50% of our chip production. They are a friend and ally to us, and they're a democracy. Let's have it. If anything, this is what I would tell Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. What you need to do with Taiwan is help them economically, militarily, diplomatically. Economically, we should have a free trade agreement with Taiwan, without question. Diplomatically, we should require that Taiwan become a member in the United Nations and in the World Health Organization. And militarily, we should do whatever we can to joint exercise, share intelligence, and do what we can. Think about what happened during COVID. The one group that kind of spread the alarm bells was Taiwan. They said there's a virus coming from China. World Health Organization wouldn't listen to them because they're not a member. UN wouldn't listen to them. What did China do? The total opposite. They hid it, they didn't tell the world, and millions suffered. What if we had listened to Taiwan? If anything, that is what earned their right for us to see them as a partner and a friend.
I'm being told we're out of time, but I want to quickly ask you, you have talked about the isolationism in the party, and it troubles you. This past week, Justice Department brought a case against Russia regarding a $10 million disinformation campaign in which it was using, in part, right-wing media. Do you think that this isolationist streak is being fueled by the Russian state? The problems you are diagnosing right now, that you are also saying Donald Trump is echoing in some way.
Margaret, this is bigger than that. This is the tip of the iceberg. First of all, look at what happened in Hochul's office with the Chinese influence and what was happening there.
Here in New York.
Look at the murder for hire plot on U.S. soil, which I was named in, by Iran. Look at the Russian disinformation, which didn't start this year. This has been going on for years. Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea to some extent. They have spent years on the cheapest form of warfare, which is how do you divide Americans and cause chaos. They have done that. When I was running my presidential campaign, the FBI had a separate hearing with me to let me know that Iran was meddling in our influencing the election with our campaign. They were
to hurt you or to help you?
To hurt me.
To hurt you.
You know, the murder for hire plot named me. That's by Iran. This has been going for a long time. And Americans need to wake up. Don't just look at Russia. Don't just look at China. Don't just look at Iran. The biggest lesson we need to take is when you look at social media, I bet you a larger percentage of those are foreign engagements. And when I was in Taiwan, they would tell you, they could look at Facebook. Anytime Taiwan put something out, it was suppressed. Anything China put out, it was played up. Why is that? Our social media companies owe Americans from a national security perspective. How many of these foreign bots are dividing us? Every bit of our government, influencers, press, and media need to say how many of these foreign influencers are buying people and what are we doing to protect us? Nothing. No one's talking about TikTok. Biden and Trump both said they were against TikTok. They're both on it now. Kamala's on it now. China loves that. America needs to wake up when it comes to foreign actors.